Hey, let's get into it here. Oh, today is very, very, very cold, and it's only going to be getting colder, folks. It's Ryan here in the North Michigan greenhouse. It's currently 21 degrees outside. It's a balmy 48 degrees in here. I just got the heater, just turned it up, turned it on to like permanent on right now. So we have that. But man, I would tell you, it's cold. And I think we're supposed to be down to like 3 degrees, I believe, tomorrow sometime. So we'll see what happens with that. And that's the big one. So again, for those who don't know, my name's Ryan. I'm up here in Northern Michigan, and I come here live on YouTube pretty consistently, just working in my greenhouse, working in my garden, doing all things kind of homesteady. I got my chickens we spend time with, just doing projects around, and we come here live and really just kind of work everything out together. So if you found me, it's great to have you on here. Hopefully I'm going to earn your subscription today. Yeah, let's get into it here. So, whew, yeah, it's been a day though. I already got out, got a walk in. We've got tons of snow out. I think we got like almost 4 inches of snow yesterday, and we're on tap for another 8 this morning, and or 8 through the rest of, I think, through tonight into tomorrow, another 8 inches. So got to kind of work through that. Tomorrow, I'm pretty much certain every school in the area is going to be closed. Let me grab my gloves. They're over there. I mean, it's just going to be kind of a yuck day. So I plan on really just making myself available here around the house to work on stuff. And I've got a trip coming up in a few days, heading out to work with, again, I'm a business coach by trade, but I'll be working with a client out in Maine Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, flying Wednesday, but I'll be working Thursday, Friday on place, and then back here Saturday. I don't get until later. So what it's looking for, and I'll have some updates. Obviously we'll hop on the stream and just kind of work this stuff out here, guys. But it looks like I'll be here streaming. I will be back Sunday for sure. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a stream in Tuesday. Probably not. But I may do something Thursday-ish. We'll see. So I don't know. Well, I'll figure out some time to stream just to be able to hop on, kind of check in with everybody. And I may go visit. Actually, there's a couple. There's a greenhouse in Maine, kind of where I'm going to be hanging out at. So I may head over there. We might do a stream live, where I'm just walking around, kind of checking out the stuff they've got. I think it might be good. So I imagine we're at that point right now too. We're getting more stuff that's out and about. Man, that wind is kicking, yo. Oof. You guys probably can't hear it right now. It is howling out there. But so, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I got snow coming through in a couple spots, like right here. Oh, there it is. See? I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there's my snow coming through. Man, I'm going to seal that up real quick. Whew. That is some snow coming through. So, but again, that's the thing when you got a greenhouse here, is that these are not meant to be like a greenhouse. It's not meant to be perfectly sealed. It's not the thing. It's meant to have air coming in and out. It's the trouble you run into. So part of it is, how do you maintain the temperature and how do you maintain the heat? And I've got a thermostat and a little heater out here. I have a tarp that I put up right in front of where you're at, and I just heat this one little section over here, to help maintain. So I'm not heating this whole space because I don't need heat on that end over there. So, but anyways, we're going to be getting into stuff here today, guys. I've got some, plants that we've got to get set up. We've got I think I'm going to, let me look here. I got those. Yeah, we're going to first transplant. I want to transplant a couple more of these brassicas that I have down here. And then I need to get started on my next round of lettuce that I have. We've got some of our lettuces that have been transplanted here. Just to show you, got them going. Living their best lives here. We got those started on stream the other day. Actually, I've just got more I got to kind of get rolling here that I want to get out. But I always like to have lettuce going. It's good for me and the family. It's good to have around. It's a cold wet. That's the thing. We're currently in the time of year where the only thing that we really, make sure to cover that up, that we really should be, the only thing you should be growing or really having going in your greenhouse, unless it's a fully heated, greenhouse. But, like down here, I keep it doesn't get below 42 in here. Has to be your winter weather, your cooler crops, stuff that does well. It doesn't mind it being cold and a little bit less light. See, I've got light coming in through here, but we also have lights out to kind of help everybody out as they're doing their stuff. And lettuces are one of those. Lettuce loves springtime. They love early spring. They love to be, and they grow and they get nice and healthy as well. And that's the thing with lettuce too. Especially like if it starts getting towards summertime and everything else, and you're getting your starts going, you've got to have shade up for it. It just wants to be cooler. That's what it's meant to be. So I love having lettuce going here. We also have our brassicas going. Again, our brassicas are going to be your Brussels sprouts, your broccoli, your cauliflower, your kohlrabi, and your kale. Those five. Those are your brassicas that you'll have. And they're all the same plant. Like it's all the exact same plant. They've just genetically been bred for different parts of the plant. Okay. Oh yeah, I just needed some coffee today too. Like saying that walk, it was frigid out. Like saying it's 20 degrees out there right now. It is chilly, folks. All right. So, all right. I think that kind of does for updates. Let's get some transplanting going. I need to get a few done, and then we're going to get into our other stuff that we got going on here. Okay, as far as getting some new stuff started. So let me move these out of the way. And when we're doing our seed starts, they're going to be into these 1-inch cells right here. We have some here that we're going to do, and I've got another one that's got 72 in here. And again, the one thing, especially like when you're buying your seeds, and again, I have a video out on this here. This is for the Organo Republic 55 seed pack. We're going to be grabbing these today for our lettuces that they have. The one thing you keep in mind, whenever you have lettuce, you get like 1.7 billion seeds in every pack. So, they go a long way. So it's one of the things I like about getting lettuce, because you get so many seeds, you can start them, and it's something you can just constantly be cycling through to use. So good stuff there. All right. So yesterday on the stream prior to leaving, we got our seed starting potting soil mixture put together, and you can see it in here. Kind of give you guys a up close look here. And this is part coconut, cocoa coir, so it's the ground husk from the coconut, and just some regular old potting soil. That's what I put together. It works really well for me. So as you grow into your grow, right? Good joke, right? As you grow into your gardening that you do, and you work on what you're going to have for your seed starter, you end up with coming up with your own ideas and pack and how you want to do stuff. So that is kind of where I've landed on this. So it works well. I'm pretty happy with it. And then these guys look like they're doing pretty good too. I got my basil in here. They're all out here living their best life. Okay, so currently what we're doing is we are simply just grabbing our, again, we have our, trying to think here. So we've got our broccolis, we got our kale that are doing so. Yeah, hey, I'm back. Heck yeah, I'm back. Good to see you. Welcome. Good to have you on here. Yeah, we're back. It's Sunday chill stream. We're going to do some more transplanting, and I got to get some stuff started. It's good to have you on here. Figure you come out here and enjoy this here. The camera angle is flipped. Yes, I actually have I have both cameras, or I have both phones today, so I can have my actual, you can see me where things are, written correctly. Like, for instance, subscribe should be, shouldn't be flipped, right? So, it's just those little things. The other day, I went my phone, I didn't have my second one, so I couldn't really do this. But yeah, I'm back here, living my best life, guys. Good stuff across the board. So again, we're gonna transplant a couple of these. I want to pull a few more of these. They look pretty good. One of the things I like to do when I'm coming through and I'm just transplanting some of this. Oh no, yep, it's Sunday for us here. One of the things that I do here specifically is I don't transplant everything at once. I'll come through, transplant some of them, like the healthy ones. Then I'll come back to the same tray the next day and take a look. And you'll see others that once they get a little bit of space, they end up being a little bit, all of a sudden, they get some life to them. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at here. You'll see a couple of these here like that were not doing their best. They're doing a lot better now. So, but anyways, all right. So we're going to be transplanting from our 1-inch cells that we have here. Those are 1x1 cells that are here. We'll be transplanting from this into our pint, right? Our pint cups here. And it's a very simple process for this. So this is pre-moistened, the soil that's in here, right? And so we're just going to press this down and just kind of have it set. And then we're going to come in here. We're going to make a little indentation. See a little divot in there, little hole. So we're going to pop that in there because what we're going to do is drop one of these guys directly in there after we take a look at them. That's what we're doing. That's the plan. Doesn't change. It's what we do every time. And it again, you will find, and this is one of the things, we're going to do this one here because I'm going to do some trimming for y'all. You will find out your process for what you want to do, and you're going to be able to make those adjustments. It'll be good. So what I want you to take a look at here is, again, we're going to look at that root structure. See how nice that looks in there? It's coming down. Everything looks pretty healthy. Again, when we are inspecting this, and you want to inspect every single time on your plants when you are doing the transplant, we're looking to see that the roots are heading straight down. We don't want to see any that are starting to wrap around and are becoming root bound. That's not good. Nobody wants that. That's not good for anyone, okay? Before we cover these up, we're going to come through here and you'll see I got seeded in there. It's doing well. Seated, not seeded. All right, seeded. We're going to come through and we're going to trim this up. All right, we're going to actually thin these out a little bit in there, okay? And we only want to have one plant that is here for this. That's the goal. So we're going to get rid of this guy. And all of the seedlings that that survive the cut. We're going to do well. The seedlings that end up getting cut, they all go to my chickens. So I got a little pile over here. We just kind of load up for the chickens over here, folks. So welcome, everybody. My name's Ryan. Welcome. We're in here just transplanting, and we're going to be starting some seeds today as well, too. We're going to be planting some lettuces today. I always have lettuces going. Spinach is a little early. We're going to do spinach probably at the end of February to have them ready to be able to go into the polytunnel when I'm able to set that up in March, because they need a little bit of a head start on that. But you'll see here, we got that in there, and that's going to be really good. And again, this is one of our brassicas that we have going here. Okay. Just kind of place them over here, and all these guys are going to get watered here kind of separately. Excuse me, corn. My corn decided to whack me on the head there. But again, little things that we're doing here, just kind of keeping up on stuff. But yeah, lazy stream today, guys, just kind of chilling. Hope everybody's having a good day. Everybody had a good weekend. We had a good weekend here for the most part. It's just that the snow is coming back. Like I said, we're going to end up getting bombed with a whole bunch of just gross weather coming up here in Michigan. It's going to be, I think we're shooting for, there's potential blizzard warnings and stuff like that. So, thoughts and prayers where we can get them. We'll take them. Yeah, not being a little silly about that, folks. I mean, it's going to be down in single digits. Lots of wind, lots of snow. But like saying, currently right now, it's 19 degrees outside. I just checked, the temperature dropped again. And, we're living our best life at 53 degrees here in the greenhouse. Not super warm, but I mean, better than outside, I'll tell you that much. So, all right. Yeah, we're going to do a few of these. And then, guys, just like usual, we're going to go through. We're going to check what I got currently. You guys will see over here, I've got stuff that's inside that, it's currently germinating. They're growing. I'm going to be able to get these off of the warming mats pretty soon, which I'm excited about. I don't really care to have stuff on the warming mats too long. It's not good for the roots and everything like that. You want to get them, and once they're germinated, you kind of let them do their thing. We'll talk more about that here. So yeah, warm enough. Yeah, 100%. Warm. All right. So again, when we do this, we always want to just kind of overload the pint, your pint cup in here, right? And the reason being is that we're going to come through here and we're going to press this down. All right. We want to make sure all that soil is seeded. We don't want to have any air pockets. Air pocket, not the heart, mind you guys. This is the air pocket, right? Air pockets going on, right? Because when those roots are coming down and they punch into that air pocket, now they're wasting energy trying to figure out where the soil went to instead of growing. Like, we don't want that, okay? So we just want to be able to have that set up. And then what we're going to do, we're going to poke tiny little hot in here in gel and water. Been wondering if I should put some pots. Put them in pots and then the ground in a month or two. So you got saplings in gel and water. Been wondering, put them in pots. Yeah, I mean, I would move them over to soil as soon as you can. That's one of the things, like, for instance, why we have the lingonberry bush here that we have. It's one of the reasons that I transplant it. The sooner you can get it into the soil, I mean, it wants to be in soil, even though it looks, they may be dormant per se, you're still going to give a chance for the bacteria, again, for the healthy bacteria, for the soil to set up and kind of do its thing around the root. So it's always good if you can do that. If you've got a space where you can do that, where they'll be taken care of. You know what I mean? Like that's the other thing too. So where you can protect them. Let me toss this over here. That's kind of in the way. That is going to go out in the garage. There we go. Out of the way. But that'd be my recommendation on that. So, all right. So there was that. We're going to do one more of these, and then I want to get, these guys are no good. They done. Any of this guy. I got one kale. Yeah, so we're going to do two more of these and one more of my kale here. So, yeah, I think, and again, the plant will be happy with like that too. Like the gel is good for transport and everything else, but you know, they like to be in soil. You know, they're kind of like us. It's their comfort zone, you know? All right, so we're going to loosen this up. And then once these are all out, I get to kind of clear all of this potting soil out of here, remix it up and reuse it. I reuse a lot of my potting soil. And because, you know, I don't take everything that I start. So this, you can see here, check out the taproot on that guy. That one is healthy. Healthy. So we want to get that one in there for sure. Get them seeded. And so you'll see on this too, the seedling that you have here, kind of how floppy it is in there, right? It got a little overextended. You know, it got leggy, and that's fine. Don't worry about that. You just replant the plant. Yeah, replant the plant. And just cover it up basically to the base, the stem there again. It'll be just fine. It's okay if it's a little leggy. It'll just turn that into roots. No worries. So just like that. See? Easy peasy, folks. So we don't worry about if stuff gets a little leggy. That doesn't hurt anything. That don't hurt nobody. Let me put this down here a little bit. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, and then I want to do one more. We're going to get this kale. And then we're going to start working on planting here. All right, so let's get that kale going. One more kale. Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Ryan. Just here in the greenhouse, having kind of a chill day today, working through some stuff. Again, it is up here in northern Michigan. It is frigid out right now. Cold. And it's the time of year where we're doing some work in the greenhouse. And you know, a lot of this stuff is actually for me, it's just to make sure I'm in good practice here. Because again, if I don't get the lettuce right, who cares? It's lettuce, right? That's not the end of the world. But when it gets to, you know, summertime, when it's growing season, you know, I've got to get make sure all of my processes are down. So that's the big reason why I'm in here as often as I am doing these things. All right. So again, we're going to press this down, just kind of get this seated. I hope everybody's having a good day today. It is one of those days, I will tell you that much. Of all the days, this is one of them, that's for sure. And oh, that guy's not going to make it. Oh no, that one's no good. Swink. All right, that's fine. We have another kale that we can get right here, right next door. I've got some leaves started. These guys were struggling a little bit here to get going. They're going to do much better now that I kind of got them some larger stuff here as well. And it's just one of those things that happens. Sometimes you get a slow germination. It's just the temperature stuff going on. Everything kind of struggles a little bit to get rolling. But once it gets started, man, they're off to the races. And that's what we'll be seeing here. These guys are all going to be just fine. Case in point, kind of show you. I think I can show you on this one and this one. This one and this one. So these two were germinated at the same time, yet this one got moved over a week ahead of time to this, to this pint size stuff. And you can just see the difference. So that's what I mean. Once they get over into here, they get a chance to expand and breathe and do their thing. So it's definitely, don't worry about them. They look a little pint sized. I know, bad joke. Because they'll come around. They absolutely will. I think my sunflower, we can just call that one good. Drop you back in there. Okay. What do we got here? I do. I actually have, where I pre-mix everything. I just keep it right in here where everything has been pre-moistened. Yep, absolutely. And anything that I have that's excess, like these didn't start, they get dumped in here as well too. Where, I had stuff that germinated and didn't take or didn't germinate or whatever. So we just that's the plan. Yep, the best known practice, just kind of have it in the bucket ready to go. So all of these are going to end up going to my chickens. That's what's going to happen here. So we're just going to real quick collect these up. because I've got plenty of starts now. And the thing is, we're gonna have directs. We're gonna start a whole nother batch of brassicas going into like in March. We're gonna get another set of them going too. I like to have the brassicas in the lettuces and everything, just kind of keep them started and going, because depending on the time, you can't count on Mother Nature. That whole first frost date stuff really isn't necessarily a thing anymore. You can't count on it. You just gotta watch the weather and just be prepared for that. So like for instance, last year, we had a monster winter. Like it was crazy. And then all of a sudden it got to March and the weather turned. It was great. And so I started getting stuff out in the garden in March. Just kept an eye on the weather and the stuff that needed to be. I'm gonna let these guys kind of dry out before I get to my next spot. By the way, I have my next order of these the 10, I think these are 1040 trays. I think that's what they're not 1040. What are they? 10. I think these are 1020s. These larger trays just came in that are going to be using. I'm going to be using soil blocks with them going forward. So that's happening too. But anyways, one of the things that we had happen, it got warm out, so I got stuff out there early, so I could, have it out there. So I had lettuce and I even had tomatoes out in like end of April, way like a month early. I just kept an eye on the weather. So I was able to, so that's what I mean. So we just kind of eyeball it here a little bit, but I like to have stuff started at random times so that we can take advantage of that. And plus it's just nice. As soon as I can get something in the ground, it's better for the soil too. That's one thing we just want to make sure you always keep in mind here, is that having stuff in the soil is extremely important. It's how you take care of the actual health of the soil, is by having plants in there. Okay. And if you can't have plants in your soil, make sure you have it covered with something. I always try to have leaves available. Always have plenty of compost that I make, just to make sure there's something always on top of the soil. It's super important. It will absolutely obliterate your soil. It'll kill off all the hard work you do to make your soil healthy will be gone basically in a week if you don't keep it covered. It will smoke everything. Okay, so where are we at here? Oh yeah, we're doing lettuce. So first things first, let's get started with this one here. Now this is one of my favorite ones to do. This guy's been with me for a while. It's one of my older ones here. And we're on the last legs for this. We're going to be using starting in March. We're going to be using our soil blocker here for everything we're going to be starting. So we can just pop them right in and be ready to go, and kind of skip over stuff. And also, I'm just trying to get as much plastic out of my life as I can. Some stuff you've got to keep for the bubble wrap and different things. But where we can. So for instance, if I don't need these cells anymore, I'd rather not be using them. Okay. So we're just kind of double this up right now, just to kind of have it here. So one of the things that we're going to have, and I need the cover for this too. Where's that guy at? Here we go. Make sure I got him around. Where is it at? There. You're not there. Before I get this, I want to make sure I've got the cover for this. It kind of ran off on me the other day. I thought I'd set it aside. Anyways, we do this live here, folks. Typically, I got this planned out a little better, but for some reason, my cover is not there. That's odd. Where it be? Where'd it go? And this is just kind of one of my rando ones here that I have. If I don't have a cover for it, we're not going to use it. Okay, maybe. I'm sure it'll show up another time, I'm sure. Okay, so anyways, we're not going to use this guy. We're actually going to use one of our larger ones here, but that's fine. Gives us a chance to kind of talk through these different products that we have. Okay, so this has 72 cells in here that we're going to use. And if you can get these, they're really great because you want to have, they come with a little dome. You've seen these at the Mega Marts. This isn't anything new, right? It allows you to have a greenhouse inside of the greenhouse and help you protect the environment in here so it stays warm, stays humid, right? And you can kind of protect it. So we definitely want to have this when we are starting seeds, okay? Super important to have something like this. Additionally, one more thing that you have to have, well, you don't have to have it. However, when it comes to starting seeds, your soil needs to be between 70 and 80 degrees, like in order for germination to happen. So one of the things that you're going to need to have is going to be one of these. This is a warming mat, seed warming mat. So it sits underneath the tray just like so. And you'll notice it's the exact size for these trays when you buy them. And what it does, it just stays warm and it keeps the seeds warm so that way they can germinate. And once they're germinated, everything germinates, you don't need to keep them on the mats anymore. They'll do just fine. And you can move on to use those mats to start your next step that you have here, okay? All right, so with that, a couple things with these trays, like you're saying, they come with this tray, which is where you put your water. And then you have these go in here when you get your soil inside of these. And then it bottom waters your plants that way, which is, I mean, if you're going to do it, that's a preferred way specifically in here, especially because of how delicate many of these seeds are when they're starting. You know, coming over with water, it's a bit much for them. Once they get established in there and they're inside of like a pint, your pint container, one of these here, you can start hitting them with the hose if you want, with the sprayer, if you want that soaker. But it's one of the things just keep in mind is that these are designed so that you can bottom water, and it's real simple. You just add water and just keep on going with it. Okay. So here's the process that I use, and I just recommend when you're starting your seeds here. You're going to have your potting soil, right? Your seed starting mix that you're going to have here. You're going to pre-moisten it. So I dumped a bunch of water in this last night to get everything pre-moistened. All right. One of the things you got to keep in mind when it comes to your seed starting mix, if you're using potting soil, whatever you're using, it doesn't like to hold on to water for the most part. Some of it does. That's why I use coconut coir, that coconut husk in here is part of the mix because it does like to, it does enjoy absorbing water. The thing to keep in mind though is that most of the stuff doesn't. So you just want to let it soak overnight. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and you're just going to add your soil to the top of this thing. There's a couple steps to this, folks. So this isn't simply just add the soil and go. You've got to kind of have a process for this. I'm just going to walk you through what I do right here. All right. And every time I do this is just one of those fun little adventures because I get to play in dirt again. That's one of the main reasons I even do gardening is I get to be I get to be in the dirt. Who doesn't love that, right? Now, typically one of the things like I have on some of my streams, we'll be doing this over with an overhead as well too. Got my camera just here off to the side. Today I didn't want to bring the laptop out. I figured I'd just come live and do it on mobile today. Again, chill stream today, guys. We're not anything. But hey, by the way, if you hop in the stream, make sure you say hi. Let us know where you're from. I'm up here in northern Michigan. We got folks from all over the world, all over the country that stop in and just kind of hang out with us here. So, and I hope to earn your subscription today. All right, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to scrape out the top here because I really want you guys to be able to see this here, this next step. It's kind of hard to see if I don't clear it out for you. Okay, so we've got these pots. All of these cells are now filled, right? You can see how they're filled. Well, they're not filled. There's air pockets all over this. So what we're going to do is come through, and it's a real simple process. We're just going to poke down. Now, you can come through with another set of these pods and push down and do all that. You absolutely can. I'm not going to tell you can't do that. But then you miss out the fun of doing this. This is just good stuff. Good stuff. Now, this is one of those things that they don't necessarily talk about when you're going through, when you're reading on how to do all these things to fill these up, that you need to have these multiple steps. And this is where I was talking about we're having that air pocket can be a very, very bad thing, right? These are exactly what we're trying to get rid of. Those air pockets, when those roots come down and they hit an air pocket, it's gonna slow down the growth and the development of your seedling. Because when it goes, for germination, it's really gonna slow it down. Okay, and then we want to get our basically up to the veg state as quickly as possible for our plants here. Okay, so now you can see we got all these empty little spots in here. We're going to come back through and reload it again. Like that's one of the things just to keep in mind here is that we're going to do that. All right, go through, load this up. And now these are what I would consider to be mostly filled. Then we're going to come through our little dibber tool here. show you the dibber tool. Now, depending on where you're at, folks, once as you get into higher and higher like levels of production, you're going to end up having there's all sorts of tools that you can get for this that really speed this up. That being said, for most of us, there's no reason to speed this up. Let's enjoy our time that we're doing this. Get a little more coffee here, guys. All right. It sounds like the wind has slowed down a little bit outside. It was howling early. So again, welcome everybody. My name is Ryan. Good to have you on here. I'm up here in northern Michigan. It's currently 19 degrees outside, blowing snow and just gross out. We're currently at 52 degrees here in the greenhouse, living our best lives, and we're getting some stuff started. So do me a favor. Do me a favor. I'd love to hear from you in the chat. Where are you from? And again, hope to earn your subscription. If not, if you can hit that thumbs up, it does wonders for getting me out in the algorithm. So I definitely appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to use our toolkit here that we got from Organo Republic. Right. Again, not sponsored, guys. This is the pack that I use. As always, Organo Republic, if you're on, or if you know them, I'd love a sponsorship. But anyways, I always get this pack from them. It's 55 of the most common vegetables you can have in your garden. They have a great germination rate. Everything tastes good. I just really enjoy it. Okay. So Vancouver, Washington. Awesome. Hey, what's happening there? We are working. Thank you for the thumbs up, everybody. I appreciate it, man. I love all y'all. It's great. I'm currently in Michigan, and we are going to be, right now, this is just some lettuce. We're going to get started. And I have lots of lettuces. As you can see, I always kind of have them going. And we're going to take a look. Once I get this started, we'll take a look at some of the other stuff we have going to. South Dakota. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. We are, I love it. We got people from all over the northern tier so far. I'm getting ready to have all that nasty weather that's coming. So anyway, on here, I'm in my greenhouse. We do stuff on the garden, but we're starting stuff that I have that I know will do well in my greenhouse here up until it's time to start getting stuff in the polytunnel and everything else. This is my homestead, just my house. I'm on a half acre here in Michigan, but we have stuff like this where we've got our onions. They're all living their best life out here, right? Look at these guys doing great, right? I mean, we have onions going because we know onions will do well out here and everything. So we got Tennessee, Ohio. Hello, friend. Ginger. That's a great name, Gingerbeard Actual. That's so great, guys. I love that. All right, so yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going to start on some lettuce. Let's pick out which lettuce we're going to do here. Great question on how I heat the greenhouse. I actually have a small little heater that I use. I have a tarp that goes up right here. I kind of cut the greenhouse almost in half. And I just warm this section. It has a thermostat on it that kicks on at 42 degrees. So I do pay, this. I have a solar, I have a 200 watt system with batteries that's just on this side on my shed. That during the spring I use to power this, but during the winter months where we don't really have that much sun up here in Michigan, it's running out the house. So I do pay for it. It's it's not extremely expensive, but it does show up in the electric bill. I have solar panels everywhere I can get them. So the 10 months out of the year when we get a lot of sun up here, it does its thing. So, yeah. It's funny. I've had Matt Damon. Who's the other guy? I'm trying to think here. Matt Damon, and then who's the... So it was Matt Damon when ish now. I've gotten Leonardo DiCaprio at times. I have the mustache and the beard stuff kind of mixes off, whatever. I get that a lot. And someone else said, who's Fergie married to? What was that guy? Josh Duhamel. I got that one the other day. I mean, I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you very much. I just kind of, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I need it. I was out walking earlier today, and man, it's frigid out and cold. So yeah, I get all this stuff. We kind of laugh about the different type of names that people call me here. So, all right. So I don't want to do iceberg. Ooh, butter crunch. I'm going to show you these guys as well too. We're going to talk through it. I'm going to do some butter. I think we're going to do 3 different types of lettuces here, guys. I think we're going to do. So we're definitely doing butter crunch. Grumpy Old Man 2.0. Yeah. So I have another hat that's got the fur on it with the old floppy ear things that I use whenever I'm snow blowing because I need that because the wind just whips everywhere. So yeah, I appreciate y'all hopping on here. Thank you so much for all the likes. The thumbs up are helping. I'm getting more people showing up in the chat. And again, appreciate everybody who's hopping on. Let me know where you're at in the country. It's so in around around North America so far. It's really good to have you here. You thought it was from Hollywood till I saw the dirt. That's too funny. I mean, I was close to actually, I was in Hollywood earlier this year, but just visiting family. I had work out there and then family. So, all right. So as you can see here, I mean, I'm just kind of talking. Let me talk. I'm just going to kind of read off some of the stuff. I'm in herbs. Okay. So herbs. I'm assuming you're asking the right herbs here. So I have some basil that's down over here. And then I have oregano that's in the garden. It's a perennial, it keeps coming back, as well as some lavender. And then I have rosemary bushes as well too. They're out, so I have those kind of taken care of. Yeah. So just making sure. I have a lot of folks on here asking me if I'm growing any electric lettuce. That one comes up quite a bit, and I got people for that. I can trade, no worries. So I'm up in Ludington in that area, Mason County. So for those that are familiar with how Michigan looks, I'm like right here, right along Lake Michigan. It's like from here, it's 9 miles that way. So, all right. So we got endive. We're not going to do, and I have a full video. If you guys, hope again, if you appreciate any subscriptions that I get here, but if you go to my my main channel or my channel page, you will see where I do a review on these seeds as we're just kind of walking through them here. So it's Sunday here now. Yeah, it's legal in Michigan. Yep, 100%. So, but I still got a guy for it. You know what I mean? So we got some endive. I had some endive. I'm going to wait a little bit, get started. We got some eggplant. We got our peas. I love growing peas. And not because I like peas are cheap, right? You can just get them from the store frozen. They're great. I like to have peas growing because they're just great to have around for snacks in the garden while I'm working. That's why I have it there. So, we got our turnip. Not going to do that. We've got our tomatoes, the beef steak, hot pepper, zucchini for sure later, not raw because that's got to be warmer. So this is our spinach. We're definitely going to be growing later. This spot here, carrot, cabbage, nope, pumpkin, nope. And so there's some things in here I won't grow just because they're cheap, right? They take forever, and it's. I'd rather have the stuff that I'm growing be available fresh than just to go get it from the store. Okay, so broccoli, radish. I got bean. We got beets, arugula. Maybe just some arugula. I think we're gonna do arugula. All right. So let's see here real quick. I have so with that, yes, I have fruit trees. I have a small orchard on the east side of my house where I have apples and peaches, cherries, and pears. So I do have those over there. I also have strawberries. I have basically a horse watering trough that's been filled. That is where I put my strawberries at, so I can kind of maintain the patch as well. Great, and those are ever-bearing strawberries. If you're looking to get strawberries, do yourself a favor and make sure you get ever-bearing strawberries, which they will fruit all season long. That's what you want to have, okay? So one of the things when you're tilling your ground, it varies when you want to do it. I think the biggest thing that you want to be able to do, and I just recommend, is if you can get a broad fork, that's preferable for tilling if you can keep it that way. Because really the goal with tilling, right, is to loosen the soil up and decompact. And one of the problems you run into when you are tilling soil, right, you got the machine in there, the augers are spinning and just kind of mixing everything up. There's the healthy microbes that we have in the soil, right? We take all this time to make sure that we're making the soil healthy. They set up at different stratifications within the soil, right? Because some of them do well 4 inches down, some are need to be 2, some are near surface level, right? The different areas where they're at. And when you come in and you mix everything up, now you're going to kill off a bunch of them. 2, they're going to have to repopulate and remigrate. So they're spending a lot of energy trying to, get back to where they're comfortable at, instead of when you plant, where they should be doing is be available exactly where you have them at. So if you can get a broad fork and just use that to decompact the soil, I think you'll be really happy with that. So that would be safe. But with that, when you want to go through and do that, typically a lot of folks do it prior to right before they plant. Like that's kind of the bigger one you'll have there. So, oh hey, good. Hey, I'm glad we got the reminder on the peppers. Good for you. That's awesome. Blueberries. Blueberries. No, my soil isn't right for both. It's not acidic enough around here for blueberries. Hey, what's happening? Yeah. So one of the things too. And that's where there's times where I use fertilizer. I do my best not to though. as limited as much as possible. We're in a farming area, so we've got nitrates all over the place. But yeah, one of the things, if you cannot, fertilize, but there's times you just need it. And again, if you have, as you progress along in your journey, as you're working on your garden, you're going to find times where you're going to want to get your soil tested so you can see what you might need. And you're going to find there's sometimes absolutely like the soil just needs a little help. And so get a little nitrogen kick to kind of help kick things off. That does happen. It's not a big deal. Yep. And that's what I was saying. Arugula is real quick. And we're going to go through and think for a lot of folks, I want to go through and talk to, and we always spend time looking at the packages too. So I just want to look one more and see if there's anything I might want to think about here. So we got cauliflower, cucumbers, pickling, cress, carrots, tomatoes, Roma, scallion onions, radish, broccoli rabe. I don't know. I've already got some Swiss chard over there. It's doing its thing. I don't want any romaine. Yeah, we're going to do that. Cinnamon, we're going to do some Cimarron Red, this right here. We're going to talk about those. So these brand, hey, Alan, I just saw that come through. So these are Organo Republic. It's a pack of 55. And this is what I typically get for my every year. The last couple of years, I said, but going forward, I'm going to be working. I'm going to be using them. It's not sponsored. There's if you go to Amazon, it's where I get them from. They're like $23. You get 55 types of seeds. Plus, it comes with a cool little kit. The other thing too is I have a video. If you go to my my main channel page, and you'll see it where I'm doing this. You can see the review on these as we go through them. But we're going to talk through them right now too. So, but again, so with that, my name is Ryan. Everybody who's joining, good to see lots of folks hopping on here. Good to see everybody. Good to have you on here. So. Again, Ryan, I'm up here in Michigan. We're going to be just kind of getting some stuff started today. We did some transplants. We're going to look at what I currently have growing. I got some onions and some basils and stuff as well. So, and again, I hope to earn your subscription today. I come here live all the time. Usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays is where it's at. This week's going to be a little bit off. I'm traveling for work. I'm a business coach. I've got some work in Maine I've got to go do. So it's going to be limited on the streams here, but I hope to earn your subscription. And if I don't earn your subscription right now, if you could at least hit the thumbs up button for me. And if you don't mind, it helps the algorithm, but also maybe hop in the chat. Just let me know where you're from. We love to hear it. So yeah, so this basil actually is not Thai basil. It is, which basil is it? I put the package away. I got rid of it. Where was it? Which one was that one? Oh, there it is. There it is. It is some old seeds I had. It's Genovese basil. So I had an old burpee pack that I just kind of threw everything. It was on its last leg, so I kind of had to use it. So New Jersey zone, Northern Michigan. Hey, I'm up here in Northern Michigan too. You may be holy basil. No, but I do have a ton of Tulsi tea leaves in my up in my pantry. I love holy basil. It's so good. Such a good tea. If you guys never had it, it's such a good tea. It's a great herbal tea. So zone 6B, 7A, awesome. Thai basil is perennial. It is, absolutely. Yeah, variety pack. Yeah, 100% on these variety. And I tell folks, again, so let's talk about that real quick. So let me grab this here. I have a random sunflower, right? This is sunshines. I always have sunflowers out. They grow everywhere. The birds love them. So this is an older pack. Let's say it's $2 right here. So 2 times, 55 seeds, right? Seed packs, it's $100. This is $23. And you get this great variety of them. That's why I tell folks this, but also it comes with, that's why I love this pack. And that's why I highly recommend them. It comes with these cool tools too, like a little toolkit. And I use it here, and every year I go through one because, like saying, I got a fresh set of shears that come with it, right, for thinning, thinning out our seedlings. But you can see last year's is, horror movie type slasher film stuff going on, yuck, right? So you be able to, so you get a fresh one out of that, and then it also comes with these little tweezers if you need help with some of the seeds. We figure it out here. We don't need those, but it also comes with this tool. I love this tool. Oop, make sure I don't. There we go. Oops. There we go. All right, with this tool right here, and this is designed to help me get into these 1-inch pods, these cells, and it lets you pull the soil out in one shot. Yeah, I mean you can use a spoon, guys, but it comes with this, so we love this. All right, so let's take a look here, everyone. So again, welcome everybody. It's good to have you on here. We're gonna take a look at the seeds that we're using here. I want to see how well you guys can see this. I'm just gonna hold up. We're doing a test right now because I'm watching the stream on my phone over here. That's how I'm keeping up with everything. Oh, Lapeer, Michigan. Okay, guys, great price on the seeds. Hey, Ned. Oh, you're back from Pennsylvania. Awesome. Okay, these look pretty good. Has a variety pack for They have a variety packs for herbs also as well. Hey, later, Red. Good to see you. Hey, Washington State. Awesome. Good to have you on here. Yeah, I used to live in Spokane, Washington. It was one of our favorite places we ever lived on. When I was in the Air Force. Was up there. We were up around Spokane. So love it, love it. So again, welcome everybody. So we're gonna do this one here. So this is. Let me put my old man glasses on here. Central PA. Wow, all of a sudden everything's clear. It's weird how that works, right? So this is Cimarron Red. So Lactica sativa Cimarron. It's a purple lettuce here. Okay. Now, one of the things that I want you to keep in mind, Lewis and Clark High School. There you go. That's awesome. Alabama. Man, we got everybody jumping in. Awesome. Hey, do me a favor, folks. Thank you so much for hopping in. Also, just give me a thumbs up. It helps to get out the algorithm. I love it so much, you guys. I appreciate it. So one of the things that I found, and this is just, there's no science behind it, but when you see a lettuce or like mesclun or any of these type of lettuces that have this purple in them, this red, you can. Hi from Cardiff, Wales, watching you plant lettuce. We're living our best life here, guys. You got to love the internet. This is my favorite part about it. We got people all over just kind of hanging out while we're doing this. But when you see this purple guys and gals, this typically does well in colder environments. Like that's just been my experience. I'm sure there's a science behind it. Like this red is probably some sort of like antifreeze, who knows? But when I see this red or purple, it typically does well in the cooler climate. So we love that. We love that a lot. All right, and then we're going to go on so with this has 1,000 seeds. That's what I was telling you with lettuce and why I enjoy it. And I'm always starting it because this one pack has got 1,000 seeds in it. I have lettuce going all the time. Again, my chickens love having the fresh stuff too. But we're going to read on the back. So this is, again, best known practice. And just my recommendation, doesn't matter how many times you've planted or done something. Anytime you're getting a seed pack. Sorry, I'm just listening to my neighbors over there being loud. Anytime that you have, your seeds here, we want to make sure we just give it a quick read, okay? Make sure we're staying on top of it. It's super important. That way, in case we just don't want to have any bad habits set in, okay? And they're telling you, and this is the thing with this pack in particular, we're going to talk about on the back some of the great things that they do have. They're telling you as the folks who are, who develop these seeds and are growing or setting these up, that give you the best chance to be successful. So we always want to read that, okay? Darker colors are healthy. Yeah, we love all sorts of colors. All the antioxidants and stuff they say. All right, here we go, guys. Cimarron red lettuce is a romaine type. It has bright green red leaves that graduate to deep red tips. So it's red just on the tip. Okay. It forms loose heads of 10 to 12 inch long, crisp and tender leaves with pleasant and mild taste. That's nice. I think it'll be good. So they say here start about 1 month before the last frost date, but we're going to be in here when we're growing them. They're going to be kind of around, and then I'll have them in the polytunnel, so the last frost date doesn't really apply. And again, when we're going to start them outside, and this you can direct sow, but the soils, they directly into. Let's see here. Sow seeds directly into work soil at a temperature of at least 35 F. Seeds will not germinate above 38 degrees. So that's important to know here. So we're going to end up when we have these guys, and that's so like for instance on here, remember we were talking about we have to have our seeds, our plants on these warming mats to get them to germinate, right? Well, what we're going to end up doing here on this is I'm only going to have a portion of this right here on the warming mat. It's not going to be over the full piece here because they just need to be above freezing, but they don't need to be above 68 because they won't germinate, okay? That's why we read these things. Yep. Yeah, best thing is definitely about no bugs. That's for sure. That's 100%. So yeah, we're going to get this one going here, and then we're going to just read up here where it's at. It's, again, 68 is the cutoff, so it's important to know. And then so then they give you more directions on the back here about the watering and everything else. So moderate water, full sun, 12 inches apart, because these things are pretty healthy looking. and they're going to be planted, right? Planted 1/8 of an inch deep, and it's 50 days to harvest, is what they say. Okay, now what I want you to keep in mind here is 50 days starts when we take it out of this 1-inch cell and we transplant it into, one of these things where it gets into that larger, one of these. All right, that's when the 50-day thing starts, not when you plant it. Okay, just keep that in mind. And then they talk about pre-soaking and all the stuff here. I ain't worried about any of that. So here's the deal. If you aren't sure and you're running into problems on this, what I love about this seed company they have here, they have little QR codes that you can scan. So there's a growing guide. And then they also have, I think it was on this one here. On the back of this, they actually even have a little QR code for a culinary, how to cook with the stuff that's inside of this pack. They give you recipes for everything. I mean, this is lettuce, so salad, like we know that much, but I thought it was pretty neat to be able to have that. Okay, so there's this one. We're going to do this one. Oop. Come here, friend. Let's not jump off on me here. Next one we're going to have is our arugula. 2,900 seeds in here, folks. That is kicking. Okay. All right, so we're going to go here again. So this is arugula or roquette, if you're French. And this is Aruca sativa, or Erica. I mean, Eruca. I don't speak Latin, but I think we're close. Yeah, there you go. And that's, again, thank you for that. That is one of those things that folks don't realize, that it's actually when they transplant into the soil and they get big. So even if you plant them direct sow, it's not until you start seeing the first true leaves, then you can get into harvest time. Okay. All right. So let's read about this here, just so we know about arugula. All right. A popular salad green with peppery, nutty flavor. It has a deeply lobed dark green leaves that are tender and slightly spicy. It is high in vitamins A and C, sweet. We love that for us, and adds a zesty kick to salads. They're doing a good job selling this. So we're going to start 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost date. Not too worried about that one. We're going to sow the seeds 1/4 inch deep in moist seeds starting mix. We're going to start outside. Direct sow seeds 1/4 inch deep in warm, 65-degree rich, loose soil, keeping the soil moist. Needs 6 hours a day of sunlight, which we're getting now, thankfully. Plus, we have lights for everything as well. By the way, we're going to take a look. After we get this stuff in here, we're going to take a look at our some of the things that we have growing currently. All right, see, the last thing here is going to be moderate, full sun, 3-inch spacing, 1/4 inch depth on this guy, and then 40 days to harvest. All right, so that's for our arugula. So again, 2,900 seeds. I can have lettuce growing all the time, which I do. We're gonna have lettuce in here nonstop. So by the way, when we're back here, and if you guys hopefully are in your subscription, if not, obviously I'll take a thumbs up. I love that. It helps the algorithm. Let me know where you're at in the chat. But when you come here and you're watching in the summer, you're going to see this greenhouse is going to still be full of stuff. I'm going to have stuff growing in here to take care of this, take advantage of the space here. And there's some things you just want to kind of have and be able to manage a little bit better, not going crazy out there in the garden, okay? So let's read up on hey, what's happening, Laura? Good to see you. Welcome. We got our butter crunches next here. Okay, and this is Lactica sativa. Again, they're all in the same plant. They're all in the same kind of genus, species, whatever. There's a botanist out there that's going to correct me. That's fine. So butter crunch is a butterhead type developing small to medium-sized, loosely formed rosette-shaped leaves with leaves that have a velvety, buttery texture and a mild taste and hint of sweetness. This stuff is so good in sandwiches. That's what I love about this stuff. It's good in salads, but man, is butter crunch ever good on a sandwich. All right, so we want to start inside about a month before the last frost date. Again, these are going to be growing and living their best lives in the greenhouse. We're not worried about that. We want to sow seeds directly into work soil at a temperature of at least 35. Seeds will not germinate above 68 degrees. So this entire setup here, what I'm probably going to do with this one is I'm not going to put this on any warming mats, I think is what we're going to end up doing with this thing. And I'm going to put this in a place where it's going to be a little bit warmer up here, and as the higher up we go, so it'll be above 35, and it's going to stay in the 40s to 50s, 60s, and just let these guys germinate like it's out there. So this will not get a warming mat, and that's what I mean, folks. Because I'm going to have a group of them on here. I saw someone make a Christmas tree with cabbage. Oh man, that's funny. Oh, Abby, come on now. I'm married way over my pedigree. I got a smoking hot redhead that's probably watching this on the inside the house right now. But so yeah. But that being said, I'm currently in Michigan is where I'm at now. So again, go back to this, folks. This is why we always read what we're doing with our before we do any planting of our seeds. Okay, super important just to make sure that we're there. Okay, because these won't germinate if these are on warming mats, because warming mats keep your seeds between 70 and 85 degrees. Everybody got that? Cool. All right, so let's move on to our next spot here. We're going to use our dibber tool here, right? It's actually called a dibber tool, and it's designed very, very smartly designed to poke holes in the soil. And and it's hard to see on this one, you can't really see it, but they actually have lines that are set up with the different depths that you want to put your seeds to. So like this would be for your larger seeds, and this is going to be for the little guys like we have right now. And we're between an eighth and a quarter inch that we're going to be doing this. So just take your time. One thing I'm going to tell you on this is really important. If you aren't, don't worry about the difference between a quarter inch and an eighth of an inch. Don't worry about that one. The ones that the depth that you want to be worried about and just know you want to know which seeds require sunlight in order to germinate. All right, that's kind of your bigger piece here. Yes, there's something to be buried deeper for all the reasons. Corn has to be down an inch, and don't worry about that. But for a lot of this stuff, we just want to make sure that we've got this stuff. We're not going to worry about the difference between a quarter inch and an eighth of an inch. The seeds will figure it out, okay? But for instance, and we'll just show you, this is celery, and celery is notoriously difficult to get it to germinate and do its thing. And it's currently germinating. You guys can see, I got a bunch of them kind of popping up there, right? But I don't know if you guys can see that. So there you go. Yeah, you guys can see them. There they are. They require sunlight. So they're a direct sow directly on top, and you just kind of leave them alone and just let them do their thing. It goes on top, and you just press it down, and that's it. So it's just important that you understand that, okay, folks? All right, so let's get into this here. So as we're going through this, now one of the things you can do is you can pre-sift your soil if you like. I have a quarter inch sifter that I have, but that's going to be more for my flowers. One of the things we're going to be looking for here is making sure that, I can sift as I'm seeing it here. We're going to make sure these big sticks that aren't in there and this mulch, like these little wood chips, aren't going to be at the top. It's going to cause problems, okay? So, man, thank you everybody who's hit thumbs up so far. I got a whole bunch of likes on here. Thank you for that. It definitely helps with the algorithm. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. All right, so what we're going to come through here is we're simply just going to make small little holes in our cells here. So for those that are just joining us, just to give you a heads up on here, when we did this, all the soil that we're using in here was pre-moistened, and we did it over a couple steps. We got all the soil in here, and then we actually compacted it down a little bit, pressed it in to make sure we didn't have any air gaps, and then we refilled it again loosely on top. Okay, and that's kind of where the stage that we're at right now. And we're just going to come through and just pop some holes. Now, there are entire bits of equipment that you can get that make this easier. You can do these little holes in one thing. You just press down and it'll do it at once. I'm not at the stage yet. I mean, we're at my house, guys, where I don't necessarily need to have those tools. I don't want to steal fun for me yet. This is that type of, even when I'm on stream and we're talking, but this is the type of stuff that is there. It gives you that little bit of, I want to say, a peace. I like, so for instance, like yesterday. So I'm a part owner in a coffee shop that we have on the next town over, where yesterday was I was bagging coffee on a stream, and it's just that it's cathartic. Get on here like, I'm just making little holes right here, little holes, just these little holes, living my best life. Okay, so I don't want to have any tools that are going to come and maybe take that away from me right yet. You know what I mean? But anyways, again, catching up with folks here. My name is Ryan. I'm here in northern Michigan. It is currently 17 degrees by my thermometer out there. Temperature is going to keep dropping all day. We're supposed to be single digits tomorrow. Snowing, blowing. The wind is whipping out there. I think we have a blizzard watch for tomorrow. It's currently 54 degrees, living our best life here in Michigan. And you've shown up on my stream where I'm sitting here just, we're planting some lettuce right now, some different lettuce varieties. We did some transplanting earlier of some brassicas that I have started. So we have some cauliflower and some broccoli and some kale that we transplanted, and now we're just getting into this. Like I said, I'm gonna put a little more in here. Today is just a chill stream, guys. Just doing a few things. We're gonna start getting, and that's the thing for those that have been with the channel for a while. I'm so thankful to everybody who's been subscribing lately too. I'm just over 2,200 people have subscribed. I'm just some grandpa that's hanging out in his greenhouse. Thank you so much for everybody there that's doing that. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah, but anyways, just to be here and to be able to share this stuff with you just means so much. So thank you everybody. It's so great to have you guys on here. So, all right, so we're going to start off. We're going to with our red here. And what we're going to do, by the way, when I put the top on here, actually, let me bottom water this first. A little bit of water in here, just to kind of get everybody going. I got some more water over here. I didn't fill this up today. Bad, Ryan. That one's empty, and then I got a little bit more water here. After the stream, I'll come back and make sure this guy's good and full. There we go. So that we have this. I actually have my markers over here. We will be marking this up on top of it, so we'll know the different spots. So, no, I don't grow that. I have people for that. But thank you for asking. All right, so we're gonna get into our red here, and I'll show you guys the seeds on this. Now, one of the things that I do, and I buy this here, but I also let a lot of my lettuces go to seed. Also, I'll let them grow. Because what we eat that we get at the grocery store that we grow and we harvest ourselves, those are the juvenile version of the plant. All right, they haven't gone through puberty per se, where they grow up. And that's when it's called bolting. And when they bolt, well, you'll see the plant it be flat like we normally get it, and then it'll shoot up to be 4 feet tall. And then it'll flower and it'll go to seed. Okay, so we eat the juvenile version of that. So I let them go to seed quite a bit for a couple of reasons. One, I like to have the flowers out there. It's good for the pollinators. And two, I get the seeds out of that, and we can put them in the freezer and I'll start them up ourselves. This is what they look like. They're all lettuce seeds basically look the same. It's the same plant. Like I was saying, it's just been bred to be a little bit different. And yeah, flower power, 100%. And, for this here, we're simply just going to pop these guys in here, guys and gals in. And I'm putting just a couple per. And again, just a couple per. We're not going to try to overload this. Now, you can, again, because there's so many, if you wanted, you could be loading this up everywhere and probably not run out of these seeds here. Nothing necessary to worry about. But I'm going to get a bunch in here, kind of get them all started, get them going. There we go. So there's this one, and we're going to save these because, like I said, I start lettuce all the time. Constant state of having lettuce going. Okay, and I'm just going to pop these, and I've got a little spot over here where I just keep them at. These are last year's seeds, so they need to go. These are my last year's kind of older seeds, so they're just going to make sure we're good. Yep. There they go. All right, so there's my reds. And then next up here, it's going to be our butter crunch. Like we're talking about, our butter crunch. This one's really good on sandwiches. Oh, it's so good. Chickens really like it too. They love it. And I'll show you the seeds again, just so you can, we can compare and contrast. They all look the same. They're all look the same. Like I said, they're all basically the same type of plant. So there's 4 and 4 and 4. Right? 4 and 4. You'd think I'd be better just getting this figured out, but I've been doing this enough time, but it is what it is. And again, why we're doing lettuce, that's that time of year where it's still cold out. It's a difficult time for things to be growing. Not a lot of sun. I do have lights that we have for everything. We're going to take a look at some of the stuff that I have currently going. That's for sure, folks. But they're a cold weather plant. They like being cold. So, they like to germinate when the weather's, when it's still chilly out. They live their best life before it gets hot. Because when it gets hot, right, it gets warm out, that's when they bolt. That's when they hit puberty and all of a sudden they shoot up and like, hey, it's time for us to flower. Okay, so we want to get these up and running and doing their thing when it's cooler out. And That's okay. We love that for us. All right, so the last one here is going to be, all right, real question here. I don't cultivate those mushrooms, but I do wine cap mushrooms. I actually have some leaf mulch over there that I just kind of throw them into and let them do their thing. How long are plants in the greenhouse before they are transplanted outside? Um, oh, I answered it. No worries. Oh, hey, so we got a couple things here. Lots of good questions on here. So I grow lettuce and stuff in my greenhouse here. These aren't going to get transplanted into my garden. They're going to be here. They're going to go in my polytunnel. They just kind of hang out here. And I keep everything, warm, basically warm in here. It doesn't drop below 42 degrees inside the greenhouse. Right now, the stuff that we're working on, some of them, the starts are absolutely going to be for March. So we're going to look at, I've got some short day onions. I've got some long day onions. I've got some celery. These three here in particular are all going to go out to my garden when we get around March timeframe, end of March, when I start working the soil inside the polytunnel. So I can, do my best to keep them out of the frost and everything, but they enjoy being out in the colder weather. Okay. So we're going to get them started March, but they're going to be up here doing their thing. It definitely varies depending on what you're growing. There's certain flowers that I can start and get them out in 4 to 6 weeks. No problem whatsoever. There's a lot of vegetables that you get them going, and I like to have at least have here where they've moved past into the seedlings stage, almost into veg state, where they've got their second to third set of leaves. So it kind of varies, is the bigger thing to answer that question. But right now, yeah, it's definitely way too early to be direct sowing for anything that's going to be uncovered out here in Michigan for sure. The last frost is going to be sometime in May for where I'm at. Like I said, I keep the greenhouse warm ish, for the spring vegetables. So so let me get here. So So hopefully that answered your question, Aristotle. Hopefully that answer. How is it like having a greenhouse? So I guess I don't know. Are you asking me what it's like having a greenhouse? Because it's great having a greenhouse. It's I'm more than likely going to be expanding this one next year. I've got my polytunnel so I can have more stuff out in the garden earlier, which is going to help there. But yeah, it's great having one. So here's the deal. So arugula, and this is something for you to know, is a different type of lettuce. It's not in the same family as your butter crunches and your romaines and everything else. It falls under the lettuce category because it's a green, right? But it's not like a lettuce. Okay, and that's arugula, and you can tell because of the seed type. Do you see how those seeds are completely different than what we had for other lettuces? So they're not in the same family. So this greenhouse was $650 or $700 a few years ago from Wayfair. It's 6 by 6. So 6 by 6 or 6 by 7 by 6 by 6 by 17. Yeah, 6 by 6 by 16. Getting everything set up, I got like a little over $1,000 into it. Running the heater, it depends on the time of year. Like this is running off of the grid, but I have solar panels everywhere. So around March timeframe, maybe even end of February to beginning in March, I can run off of my battery packs that I have because we'll have enough sun to keep everything charged. So, best greenhouse plant for beginners, depending on if depends on your environment. Like up here, it always varies, but lettuces, I'm going to tell you, lettuce and onion are great plants to start with because they just like to grow and you really can't mess them up. Again, this time of year it's a little bit different. So yeah, $3,500. Yeah, probably $3,500. I don't think that much though, because this kit, it's smaller, like where it's at. So, but you can definitely get them you could probably get this one probably for still around $1,000 would be my guess. Okay. But greenhouse plants for beginners, there's another one too, depending on what you have in your environment. A lot of herbs do really well. But yeah, if you want to stick to something just to kind of get your feel with it, onions are a great way to go. They're very forgiving. They just like to grow, Let me get this planted and I can show you some stuff that I have going on here. So, all right, so getting in our last bit here. So this is our arugula. Let it kind of do its thing. So again, we've got our red, we got butter crunch, And then we got our arugula going here. So again, for those that are joining, my name is Ryan. Welcome. Good to have you on here. I'm up in northern Michigan right now. We are getting lots of blowing snow and just yuck outside right now, but it is 55 degrees. Living our best life here in the greenhouse as we're getting some lettuces planted. And this is my third or fourth round of lettuce so far since November, I want to say. Okay, we got a bunch of them started there. Good. Here we go. And again, all of these here, by the way, there's 2,900 seeds in this one, and this will also be saved because, again, we'll be coming back to these as well, too. So, again, do me a favor for everybody who's here. Welcome. Say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're from. Again, I'm up here in northern Michigan. Yeah, that's what I mean. Onions and yeah, exactly. They will do their thing. I have wild onion and I have wild garlic that grows in my garden around the whole area. So, I have a constant, once it gets to be March, I can just go out and get garlic if I need it. It's right there. Yeah, it's so great. I love that. Hey, from Tampa, Florida. Welcome. Good to have you on here. Awesome. You are definitely not dealing with snow and blowing weather down there. Although I think you guys are going to be getting some cold here on as well, that cold front that's coming through. Okay, so to go back to what we had before, folks, all of these needed to be planted somewhere between 1/4 inch to 1/8 of an inch, right? It's on that ballpark. We just kind of got it close. We're going to be good there. We're not going to worry about it. From Detroit, awesome. Love it. I'm not in Upper Michigan. I'm up in Mason County, so I'm like right here, on the down in the mid. So I'm right by Lake Michigan. It's just over there. Okay, so we're going to become, nice, Texas, love it. I used to live in Wichita Falls and Abilene, Texas. I was in the Air Force. And it was 6 years in Texas. That's what I'll call it, in that area. It was we loved Wichita Falls, though. Man, was that ever a great town. All right, so we've got these down between 1/4 inch and eighth an inch. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to lightly cover these. Remember, we've got the soil is already pre-moistened. Oh, Albuquerque. I've only spent 1 day there in Albuquerque. I was driving through. But it was beautiful in that area. All right, so we're just going to lightly cover these. We're not going to super press down on them. This is already pre-moistened, so we're just going to give them a nice little cover. Say, hey guys, we got you. And then we're going to throw the dome on these and just kind of set them over there and forget about them and let them do their thing. Because again, that's why we read the package on here. These do not need warming mats, right? They just need to be above. They need to be above 40 degrees, which we maintain in here. And no more than 68 degrees because they will not germinate over 68 degrees. So we can't use a warming mat with them. Easy peasy. What's the most challenging plant that I have? I know it's weird to say this, celery. Celery is just a pain in the rear. It doesn't like to germinate. It is, once it gets going, it's fine, but man, it does not like to germinate, and it takes forever. It's 3 months before I can put it into the ground. It's, it's 10 to 12 weeks before you can transplant it. It's just a pain. It takes forever. But that being said, fresh celery is just the best thing. So good. All right, so we got North Carolina on the coast. Awesome. Oh, you got great weather up there, down there in that general direction. That's awesome. Okay. All right, so we got our stuff here. I'm going to get a dome on this, and we're going to write this up. So one of the things with the domes here that we want to have, right? So we lock this in. I'm going to put some more water in this in a little bit, right? To make sure it's there. We want the domes on here because it's going to help. It's going to help preserve the moisture level, right? Humidity. It's also going to give us some warmth and protect it there. It's all the other stuff here. Oh yeah, all those things. No, I'm glad you found me. It's good to have you on here too. Again, I always say, hopefully I earn your subscription today, And if not, like I said, I'll take a thumbs up. We love those. And if you do subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell because I do my best to try to stay on a regular schedule. But sometimes, man, I just want to get out here and do some stuff. And so, I catch people off guard. So, yeah. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So best known practice on this, right, is with your dome stuff that you have here, we're going to go ahead and mark up kind of what's in here so we can just mentally kind of keep track of it because as you can imagine, once this whole thing is filled with everything, kind of keeping track of what you got here is kind of difficult. So I've got this set up into 4s. So we're just going to put our little mark on 4 here. Thank you for everybody who subscribed. I appreciate it. And the thumbs up are really helping. I'm getting a bunch of people starting to show up. And again, I love the fact when we get a good group in here to be able to chat. I got one of the friendliest, coolest chats on the planet too. We get rolling. Oh, thank you. Yeah. By the way, as always, it's what we do here. We don't stress about stuff, guys. Like that's a big thing. When stress, anxiety, it attracts squash bugs. So we just don't do that. Okay. All right. So when we're gonna label these things here, is I've got a dry erase marker. I actually have my whiteboard. When we're doing one of my, I don't always stream like this. I do come and actually have horizontal, and we have like overhead views and stuff like that. So I have my whiteboard, but I have my dry erase markers that we use in here. Is so that way we can come here and just mark up what we have. Okay. So in order, we had our red Cimarron, and that is, make sure we got here how many days to harvest. All these are right around 50 days. Yeah, we're just going to put 50 down for all these here. So we're going to put the date is the 18th. So 1/18, and we're going to put 50 days. Right. We're doing lettuce right now. That's the big thing that we have. But I have onions. I have other stuff. We're going to take a look at some of the things that we currently have going here in a second. So my favorite season in the garden is really I love my spring garden, which has got a lot of my lettuces and my brassicas and stuff. But at the same time, I'm also in here getting all my summer stuff ready. And I'll have flowers everywhere, have all the vegetables going. It's just springtime is my favorite to be gardening. Summer is just work. Like summer, because you're out there watering, pruning, weeding, stringing. It's a lot of work. Springtime's kind of more, you just get to enjoy the early part of it. So there's that, and then I got Butter Crunch. This is Butter Crunch. Crunch. So with that, what do you got? What are some of your favorite things to grow, guys? Just curious out there for those that are actually who are growing. What are you looking forward to growing this year? And the last one is arugula. So this is 1/18. It's all 50 days and 50 days, 1/18. Sorry, I got to focus here. And then 1/18, cool. I have not grown, was it sorrel or sorrel before? I have not. Okay, so here they are. There's our lettuces, guys. They are all set. We're just going to pop them right down here. Scoot this guy over. Just kind of lay them here and not plug this in. So I have a warming mat we're not going to use for them, okay? Favorite thing to grow are, what do we got? Varieties, cucumbers, and tomatoes. 100%. And I had a monster year with cucumbers this year. Tomatoes were so. I had plenty. I think I had close to 30 between the cucumbers and the tomatoes. I was between 30 and 35 bushels of stuff this year. And so what I do with all my stuff here, folks, a lot of folks that don't know, again, welcome, new here, is that I actually have a small little vegetable stand that I have set up that's donation only. I'm in a very rural part of Michigan. Not a lot of folks with a lot of money around here. A lot of seasoned citizens that are, on, paycheck to paycheck. They're on their pension, Social Security, et cetera. And we're in a bit of a fresh produce desert. So I grow most of the stuff out here, obviously for me and the redhead, for the family, so we can enjoy. My mom, she comes through and just terrorizes my garden. But beyond that, the rest of it's there for the neighborhood. They can come, and I don't, it's donation only. I don't care what they pay, just so they can have access to free vegetables, fresh vegetables. I think it's just so important that we've got those calories that are available for people. So that's a big reason why I want to do here as well. So the only thing, Aristotle, the only thing unique that I have going right now, what I would say, and where's he at here, is my business partner, Lisa. She has me doing lingonberry. We're going to start growing lingonberry bushes around here because we use lingonberries in our coffee shop. So that's really the one thing here. So yeah, seasoned citizens. Yeah, it's I guess that'd be the politician in me coming out with that. So all right, so let's take a look at some stuff here, guys. So we've already took a look at our celery, right? We'll show it again just because in case some of y'all missed it here. With hey, thank you for that. Yeah, I'm in Michigan, and one of the reasons I come on here live, guys, is because I think a lot of you say this on here is that everything is right now with YouTube specifically, everything is this curated. Here are the 5 plants So you have to watch those 5 plants instead of being able to get on there and ask a question, right? And so that's why I stream here. I just think it's important if we've got the ability to go live, I want to go live. And, again, but with that, definitely helps when I have the subscribers on here as well, too. So any help with that or thumbs up, definitely appreciate it. So here's our celery. All right, we got our celery going, and this is going to live in here for months. It's just going to live here. Once these guys, everybody germinates, we're going to get them out of here. So, ooh, I am not enjoying the snow. Not at all. I hate the snow. Before I lived in Pearl Harbor and Guam, tropical. It was so great. I loved every bit of it here. Yeah. So what do we got here? Homegrown, yeah. Lingonberry, something they make into pies. Lingonberry. We got peppers and other veggies, and also electric lettuce. We love that. Lingonberry is also the flavor of Swedish fish, like those little candies. That's lingonberry too. So as far do I have any animals? I have chickens. I have 5 chickens that are over here. I'm going to get another 6 or 7 in March. We're going to start another brood. So you'll see some stuff. I'll be going through live streams on setting this up and getting everybody kind of squared away as well too. So yeah, I have the chickens. They help with, clean up in the garden, but they have an awful lot of, fresh beets. I'm going to grow probably 1,000 beets this year, guys. 1,000. I'm going to plant them everywhere. The redhead likes them, and I like them too. So it's good. All right, so let's talk about, these are our short day onions. Let me get this over here. All right, this is our short day onions. These are red burgundy. The red onions, purple onions, depending where you're at, right? And these are short day. Now onions come in a couple of varieties or types. There's short day onions and long day onions. I think you guys can kind of figure out what that is, but these are here. Right now, these are our short day onions. All right, short day. They like shorter days. They just grow longer. Like, that's the thing. So when they're getting started, they want short days. So, and that's what these are. You can see them. And these were planted on the 6th. So this is January 6th. So they've got a couple weeks on it right now. So one thing that I just tell you on here, they do lay eggs. Absolutely. Yeah. Right now, not so much just because of the weather and the lack of sunlight, but they definitely do. So one of the best known practices here, guys, when you get your onions, right, and they're doing their thing and everybody's getting started, or any of the plants that you're growing, once they get up and they're doing this and they're inside those domes, let's give them a little bit of abuse. Nothing too hard, just enough to kind of knock them around a little bit. They need that. It's super important. And again, because when they're out that way, the wind's going to be blowing everywhere. So you just give them a little bit of TLC there. A little bit of TLC. Okay. Now with this, I have these in these. These are 1020, or are these 1020? What are these? 1016, I think is what these are. Yeah, 1016 trays, if I remember correctly. Either way. So these are just kind of tossed in here and going. And the thing with the onions, guys, and you're starting with onions, just load them up. We're going to separate all these out when we go to plant them. It's not going to be a big deal. The roots, and I describe this all the time. I can show you guys here in a second, but the roots don't stick together. So just load it up. Don't worry about the spacing. The spacing is when you're transplanting them out into the garden. Here, just pack them up. Yeah. By the way, outdoor growing is absolutely cheaper. And the other thing too, if you've never had an onion fresh from the garden, from the soil, you've never actually tasted what an onion tastes like. You taste what a cured onion tastes like. And the flavor is different. It's noticeable. There's just a freshness that happens. Now for these in particular, I have a lot of stuff that I start with these. Now these are 4-inch domes. See how high that is? And they also come with these cool little vents on the side here so you can manage the humidity, because you want them kind of moist in there when things are getting started, but then you want to be able to let that humidity out once they get to a certain spot. But they can live in here and be protected for quite a bit as they're growing up, okay? So we definitely like that, okay? So those are the short day onions. And these are just some bunching onions that I have over here, but you can see the same thing. They've been going since December, and it's the same thing. We just come in here and we're just going to give these guys a little bit of that. Right, just enough to know that, hey, you guys got to get a little bit stronger there. Oh, I know. Aren't they great? I do have a heater in the greenhouse. So I don't use egg cartons. Just I'm trying to answer questions here. You guys are hitting me up. Thank you so much for the questions here. I don't use an egg carton. I actually have like a thing in the. My wife put a thing in the fridge where we just kind of place them in there and just grab them as we need them. I have a heater in the greenhouse. It comes with a thermostat. This greenhouse is insulated on three sides, so it's got this foam insulation on the outside here, there, behind you, and then I have it along here right now because there's snow actually piled up along this whole side over here. Once we get into March, this comes out because I'll have all that sun coming in and won't worry about snow as much. But I have a heater in here and it's set to 42 degrees. So I keep as if it keeps to 42 degrees. Right now I have it on just full blast because I'm in here and I'm not one of these plants and I want it to be warmer. So with this here, obviously we keep lights on everything. I'm doing tests on these. I'm never going to buy these things again. They're garbage. These lights. You can see how these are burnt out. They're not actually burned out. They got water on them and the LEDs melted. So not a big fan of these. Not a big fan at all. But hey, you do what you can. So I'm actually gonna pop this guy right here. Actually, these guys are getting plenty of light over there. What am I doing? Okay, so there's that. All right, I grew up on a farm, haven't grown anything. You're inspiring me. Hey, awesome, Daniel. Yeah, do it. Absolutely. Again, one of the goals on the channel here, guys, is we just want to inspire and help people to grow calories. If we can grow some calories, it's going to be some of the best calories you're going to put into your body. I can promise you that. You're going to love it there. Okay. Loving beets. So yeah, there's pickled beets. Again, there's going to be canned beets. And I also just love to be able to have, one of my favorite things is grabbing beets fresh and then straight roasting them with carrots and especially when it's around and when we start getting May around here and the morel mushrooms are up and I get some, everything's rough cut, roast everything together, throw it with some venison steak. So good. Okay. So anyways, next we're going to go on to my long day onions here. Okay. So we get our long day onions. Again, this is from that Organo Republic pack that we had. And again, link is, you can go see the video that I had on all these things, but these are long day, right? So these are long day onions, right? These are the sweet Spanish, yellow sweet Spanish. They like longer days, which we have up here in Northern Michigan for sure. I mean, when the sun comes up at 5 and it doesn't set till 9:30, 10 o'clock, sometimes 10:30. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So, but same thing here. And you'll see these guys all kind of got started around the same time here. And I'm going to move these over to get them under some more light here. But you can see how they're getting started. They're taking a little bit longer to get rolling here for all the reasons. Because they need more light, right? And these take them. But once they get going, they're going to be all set. Okay? So lots of goodness there. Okay. More light for you guys. There we go. All right. We'll take a look at... What do we got in here? That's a really good, I should know what's in here. Well, those guys are basically done. Nothing really worth looking at in there. And then here's my basil. I think this is what we're going to take a look at for our last bit here, folks. No, there goes this subscribe thing. No, it happens though. All right. And this is my basil. Here's my basils. They're all getting going. They're all living their best life in there. And basil takes a little bit. So it's just kind of over there. And I'm starting to get some of my first real true leaves in there. All of this basil, all these basils that I have in here, every last one of them are going to be for, a couple are going to make it into a fresh salad, like a prese salad or something. But it's all going to be grown and then dried. So I have my dried basil. And that's the idea with that. And then we already looked at the lettuce. So yeah, I think that's where we're at here, guys. I think we're doing pretty good. So let me just look at the last few questions. Good question on the golden beets. Yeah. Well, listen, folks, that's kind of where we're at for today. I've got to get in. I got some work I got to prep for tomorrow. I do have a day job that I have to get. But with that, I appreciate everybody who hung out so long. Thank you so much. If you haven't given me a like, please throw one in. Hopefully I earned it. If I haven't earned your subscription, I would love to have your subscription. Make sure you hit the notification bell, all the things. Again, best way to support the channel, it comes back to here, is obviously subscribing. And if you would like to do anything further, one of the best things that we love is in the description, you'll be a link to where you can pick up a hat. We have hats and shirts that I've tested and that I have around. You'll see me with them, especially when we're working on the garden stuff. So with that, I appreciate everybody who hung out so long. Thank you so much for everyone. Take care, and we'll see you next time.